someone who collects. And I'm sure we've all been impacted by someone in our lives who views objects with deeper meaning. This connection between the act of collecting, remembering, and viewing objects with deeper meaning has been the subject of my research and my art practice here at Winthrop over the past year. Collecting for me began at a very young age. It was a way that I could remember the time spent outdoors with my family members to combat different anxious times in my life. In collecting different rocks and seashells, I was able to bring those memories with me wherever I went. In order to study the act of collecting and its importance to people, I looked at different psychological studies as well as different artists who also use found objects in their practice. And most importantly, I conducted research by talking to different members of my family to understand where collecting was found throughout my family history. There are two stories that really stood out to me, and those stories are the story of the rescued birds, which was a story told to me by my mother. The rescued bird print you can see pictured above in the dark wooden frame. This print was found by my mom when going through the wreckages after the impact of Hurricane Hugo on the coast of South Carolina. This print followed her from home to home until she settled down and had a family, and was a print that I could view on the wall. And it became a symbol of both my mother's nurturing care and the strength of the women in my family. My grandmother is also an avid bird collector, or bird watcher and collector, and she collects rocks and seashells on the different trips she goes around the world. In my practice, I take all of these different practices of collecting and searching for rescued objects into both my collage making and sculpting. I specifically do this with slip casting methods, which you can see depicted in the close-up image of my bird army, which was a part of my installation called Churning the Echoes, where I was exploring how memories can be both chaotic and organized in our minds. In this installation, I used both organized slip-cast objects as well as their natural counterparts and originals. And I organized them on a stage-like platform that I created, and I utilized theatrical lighting to create a feeling of an alternate dimension, one that would make us think about recollecting. I also placed different plaster boulders and bowls with piles of objects so that people would interact and look downwards, thinking about when we're outdoors and looking at the objects around us on the ground. It's through this installation that I was hoping to make people consider the act of remembering and the way in which our memories can be both cluttered and organized. And it's my hope to continue this in my future thesis.